Hey guys, this is Jack Vestal, Liberty University, uh, Education 504, Summer Session 2019. My educational philosopher was Mahatma Karmachand Gandhi. Most of us know us as Mahatma Gandhi, MK Gandhi, or just Gandhi. Um, Gandhi was born October 2nd, 1869, and died January 30th, 1984, due to assassination. I find this ironic and I like this just because his birth date is in October, which I share with him, which I find um, awesome. Um, Mahatma's father, his name was Karmachand Gandhi. He was the chief minister of the city where they lived. Karmachand had four wives. Mahatma came from the fourth wife. The first three died due to giving childbirth, which I find interesting. Um, he also Mahatma also was married at age 13, and they had four children. During this time, he abstained from meat, alcohol, and promiscuity. I find that interesting because some of that stuff will relate back to his educational philosophy. Uh, Gandhi studied law in Bombay and later in the University of London, and he would have a huge government and political uh, pull, I guess you could say, when he went back to South Africa and in the British colonies. Um, I tell you all this information before we get into his educational philosophy, just because you need to know who he is in order to understand him, what's going on with him. There's a lot of racial ties going into this. So I just wanted you to know that before we get into his educational philosophy of everything that's going on in his life. So into his educational philosophy, I'm going to start off with a quote by Gandhi of his philosophy of education, and that is the concept of education, which is based on morality. Um, Moral and ethical knowledge is the first point of any good philosophy of education, as stated by Gandhi. He also states, without this, no student in the real sense can be considered, quote, healthy mentally and physically. With this, his education is called Nai Talim, which is uh, related to a new system of education. This education is centered on uh, life, life's goals, life skills, instead of textbook-centered stuff. Nai Talim is defined as education for life, through life, and throughout life. Nai Talim is divided into four levels of education. You have pre-basic education, which is your nursery, school, elementary. Basic comes with elementary education. For us, it'll be education elementary through middle school, 15 years old, middle school. Post-basic, which is your high school age stuff, and your university and social education thereafter. For Gandhi, education is comprehensive more so than literal meaning. By this, he means it draws the best out in a child, mind, body, and spirit. He says literacy in itself is not education. It is only mind. There's no body, no spirit, therefore you don't have a full education. Gandhi's education was on real life learning. Vocational training and work experience is the most important. At the end of education, the student should be marketable and an asset to the village in which they live in. This helps eliminate unemployment. Dr. Akam Himabadi Devi's critique on education was not only the education illiteracy, but learning by doing. This creates an economic self-sufficiency and self-reliance of education. So, with my critique of Gandhi's educational system and philosophy, I don't think that he truly is an educational philosopher. I think he's just a philosopher of life, and therefore he had some educational thoughts along to go with that. And with this, he learn by doing, which I 100% wholeheartedly believe in. With that, today's education is more technology based and trying to do some blended learning and stuff like that, which is not, in my opinion, the best way to go. I think vocational, hands-on doing is the best way to do so. So, in my opinion, Nitalim would be my choice of education, as they still do in India today. They use Gandhi's Nai Talim in education in India still today, um, which I find very interesting. And I hope this helps with any of ideas, critiques of Mahatma Gandhi. Hopefully, you like what you hear about Mahatma. He's very straightforward. So if you have to boil it down, just learn by doing, and that will get you where you need to be. Thank you.